Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Nikki Starr, and welcome to another day live. As many of you know, I love relationships. I love relationship coaching. I love being in relationship. I love love. I feel like relationships are the greatest technology for our personal development and evolution. So that being said, it's always so interesting for me and exciting to find ways to better relate with each other so that all of our relationships can enhance. Not just relationships that are romantic, but I'm talking about family relationship, business relationships. Every single person and situation that we come across can be a beautiful experience. And when we learn to better understand each other, it can be so fulfilling. And I truly believe that relationships are one of the fruits, the gems, the sweetness of life, our friendships, our romances. And so often, relationships are often a struggle and a challenge for people, but they don't have to be. So, in this video today, I'm going to be sharing with you specifically about compromises and how there's ways to compromise where everyone's needs can be met. So normally we think like, oh, if I compromise, then my need is not. People often want to shy away from relationships because they think they need to sacrifice or they need to compromise in some way that's not fulfilling and not something that they want to be doing. And so I'm here to tell you that to the bottom of what our deepest desires are and our heart's desires are for each person, then a solution can be created where both people's needs are met. So, for example, I want to give an example in romantic relationships. So, let's say if you have a partner, and the reason why I bring this up is because you can never get around having friendships and you can never get around having family or even in business relationships. However, I see time and time again where people give up in the romantic sector because they feel like my needs are not being met. This person can't meet my needs. And it's this idea where a lot of people kind of leave relationships, I think, a little bit too soon without doing enough of the work together to evolve beyond our egos and evolve beyond what it means to be in healthy, fun relationship dynamics. So sometimes people think it's easier to give up. So what I like to do, and I've learned some of this technique, one aspect of it that I'm going to share from Allison Armstrong. I think she has a beautiful way of sharing about relationships. And there's this one thing that you could do where if you're wanting a need to be met and you don't have a solution for it yet, you could paint a picture. Well, if I had it all my way, it would be like this. And the other person can do the same. Well, if I had it all my way, this is what would happen. And then when you have two scenarios together, you can work like a mastermind to find a solution where both needs are met. So another way, so let's put that technique aside. Another thing you can do is get down to the basis of like, what is my heart desiring? So let's take the example of, let's say your partner comes home and throws their clothes on the floor and then goes about their day. And for you, that irks you so badly because you have a need for cleanliness and organization. And let's say your partner gets home and they have a need to just be relaxed and not do anything related to work. And they just want to get cozy and comfortable. So they have a need for like just relaxation and comfort. They don't want to be cleaning up when they get home from work. So if you get down to the fundamentals of like what each need is, like one is relaxation and one is organization, you can find a solution, AKA a compromise where both things can be met. So for example, if you say to your partner, well, how can we create a solution that meets my need for cleanliness and organization and your need for relaxation and just unwinding when we got home? So maybe maybe it's that we install a hamper, like a beautiful basket hamper right in the bedroom or right in the bathroom so that it's boom, take your clothes off, throw them in there, right? Or maybe it's that I really just want cleanliness so that if I have the expectation that that's going to happen, then I don't mind just picking them up and putting them in the hamper myself, right? So it's like there's no right or wrong, and that's the beauty of it. Like relationships can be creative expressions of like how to create a life together. There's no right or wrong, good or bad, that the male has to do this, the female has to do this, or this partner has to do this. There's none of that. You're creating the rules. And I just want to remind you of that, because for me, that's the fun part of relationships. It's like, oh, let's pretend like we don't know anything and we get to just create whatever we want. So that's what I love about relationships, is we can make all of our own rules. And I invite you to make relationships exciting. And instead of turning away from what might seem like a conflict, it's like lean into it. Because usually in those moments of friction, it's like a buffing happens. And then there's a smoother way of relating because you understand each other better. And as you can see, I'm so passionate about this topic. I love love. I really believe in preserving relationships. And it's only when you think you've learned all the lessons or that the contract is complete that it's really time to end the relationship, or if you have different values or you have different goals. But otherwise, for the most part, we can work through our differences in relationships. And I want to remind you of that. So I send you all so much love. I invite you to send this to a friend who might need to hear this, maybe one who's going through a challenging time in any of their relationships, family, friends, romance. Subscribe to the channel, share any comments or questions about topics you'd like me to cover in the future. And I thank you for being here. See you very soon, and bye for now.